name is Rafferty, and you're watching These Are Questions. This is the interview show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. Today's guest is a talented comedian, photographer, and mobile app developer. Please welcome Pete Mahndahar.
Hey Steven, what's going on?
Not much, Pete. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Glad. Thank you so much for being a part of These Are Questions.
I'm honored.
Oh, thank you. This is
I've watched the show for so long, and it's weird being actually in it, but it's super cool.
Oh, I'm glad. It is a weird feeling, I'm not gonna lie. Talking to individuals across the world on the internet through online technology. It's a wild time.
That's right. We're in the future now.
I know, the future. Madness. So much madness. But as we go into this interview, before we get into the actual interview itself, I need to go over the rules of These Are Questions.
Oh boy.
Pete, I'm going to ask you a series of questions going to be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic and, well, randomly stupid. Do you accept those terms?
I accept those terms. I'm very scared.
Don't be scared. These are just questions, as I tell in the distance. Okay. So, Pete, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Internet, are you ready? I see a guy on the corner taking some photos of me right now. He's waving, so I'm going to take that as a yes.
Let's do it for that guy.
For that guy, that imaginary guy that I may or may not have made up at this moment.
I believe it's true.
The internet believes it's true. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Okay. With that, let's begin. So for the viewers watching and listening, we do have kind of a backstory. Me and Pete met through season 1 guest Carolina. We met at a rap party and we hit it off really well. And I remember, if you remember the conversation, it was a few years ago, a few back, but I said to you, at some point we will work together in some form of project. And, here we are. We're here.
In the future.
This is the future. It's crazy.
Yeah. Thanks to Carolina for setting that up. She's a really talented artist, really great singer. Everyone should go check her out.
Yes, please go check her out. She is wonderful. One of my all-time favorite people to talk to, and also favorite musicians to listen to. So please support her. Give her a wonderful shout out. And she was the OG These Are season 1 guest. So
yeah. And she can hit some crazy notes.
Yes.
So everyone check her out.
Absolutely. She's the future. You know that.
She's the future and the present.
Yes. Past, present, future, and the future of the future. So, here we are. We're here today. I would like for you to introduce yourself formally to the viewers and listeners and explain, what do you do specifically in photography?
Yeah, so to introduce myself, my name is Pete Mahndahar, and I'm actually from the Midwest. I moved to Miami from Chicago in 2015. And when I moved here, this is sort of like the backstory on the photography stuff. I realized I didn't have any friends. I just moved here, didn't really know anyone. And I decided to pick up a hobby, and I found my way to a camera and just started going around, clicking around, because photography is something that you can just do on your own, walk around and just be creative. So that's what I normally do in photography, but most notably, I would say, is I run with a team, a really great team of other photographers and just community members, iGers Miami, and it's a community for Miami photographers. We share the talent of photographers from Miami and kind of promote them and try to put on meetup events to build out the community, to get more people to shoot photography and find find out what they love about it and just experiment with it and be creative. So ever since I came to Miami, I picked up a camera. I've done some work just for myself, some for other people, some professionally, and honestly, mostly just for fun, is what I try to do, and basically just keep relevant with the community and just be inspired, basically.
That's nice. That's very cool. I'm glad you're able to meet up with a community of like-minded and talented creative photographers and media peeps that do great community work and also great creative work. And I've seen your photography work. It's very, very good. You're very talented, my friend.
Thank you.
Doing all the different types of shoots and meeting with big people and models and celebs and everything in between. And the quality of your shoots are very cool. So it's the first of many for you, and even more so. So that's gonna be great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But you're not just a photographer. You branch out into other areas. And I remember this conversation years ago that you wanted to do specifically a mobile app, and you're working on a comedy-based app from what you recently told me. Can you explain to me a little bit more about the premise of that particular app?
Yeah, so the app is, well, I think the first thing I should get out there is that what this app is going to be changes every day that I think about it. But the premise is it's for the local stand-up community. I think the local stand-up community it doesn't get as much love as it should. I think going out to see your local comedians is an underrated form of going out, and it's great to support your comedians. And a lot of times your local comedians, you'll find comedians there who are actually more funny than a lot of the national acts out there. And that's just the way fame is in the comedy scene. It's not necessarily the most talented. Oftentimes the most talented do rise to the top, but I mean, with fame is so fickle, and it gets bestowed on people, it gets not bestowed on people. So I encourage people to go out and see their local scene. So that's the niche I'm trying to carve here. And what it is right now, it's totally inspired by what I wish was available when I was doing stand-up comedy, and I will continue to do stand-up comedy in the future. So that's basically what it is. And specifically, what it is right now is, I think I have the best format for finding open mics available. The app is in Google Play right now, and I think the format I have is I really just think it's better than anything out there, and I hope people use it. It's totally up to the comedians to use it and take it on and advocate for it, but I'm excited to see what happens.
That's pretty cool. I think the idea is there because I'm gonna compare it to how they have the mobile apps to search for gas stations, for example. It's kind of the same thing, but looking for your local improv clubs and organizations in the area, and then looking for specific comedians in the area. It's like Find My Comedian kind of, or find my improv show.
Right. And when I was doing stand-up comedy, and I know from watching past interviews, you've done stand-up comedy as well.
Yep, my roots originally started in stand-up.
That's super cool. And I remember I would do these pre-COVID, I was traveling around and I had my camera, I would go around and just see the sites, take some pictures, and then just try to find a local open mic and perform. And sometimes that's hard to do. It's hard to find. There are places online, but you kind of don't know if the mics listed online are current or what it's all about, if they're dead mics. So my app has a feature where you can actually check in to the mics and leave comments there. So when you go onto the app, you'll be able, when you're traveling, you can, let's say I go to Tennessee and I want to perform, I pull up the app, I can see the mics that are around me, and I can actually see when's the last time someone actually checked into it, and also what the comments are. So, and the comments can be left by comedians and also non-comedians. So you'll be able to understand what it's all about before you go there, and hopefully drive traffic to it if you are the host of the mic as well. So
very cool. That's
really,
a lot of great ideas going on there. And I like I said, I like the idea of that, because when I started, oh God, I started early stand-up 12 years ago. Because I kind of transitioned out of stand-up and more towards acting and performance and hosting and doing everything in between. But my roots will always be in stand-up, always be in comedy. But I remember when I was doing those shows, I was doing it young, like very young. I was 15, 16 years old at the time. And I remember when doing those shows, I was having a hard time just getting into certain venues because it's an 18 or 21 plus venue. They didn't really have as many open mics for under 18. And that was a challenge in itself, trying to go to like some of the improv shows. I won't name any in particular, but some areas in South Florida was having kind of a difficulty for it. So maybe if you could do something where you can have like, you list the type of show it is, adults only, 18 only, general ages, and then maybe connecting with all the different improv companies that are here and improv venues or comedy venues that host open mics and also professional shows. I think that could be a really great connection, kind of like your app kind of reminds me of like a concierge, but for comedians and stand-up, and like a database there. So,
right. And that's a great idea. And I'll need to implement that. And the beauty of it is that it just doesn't exist right now. So I'm there to like fill that gap. Right now, I also have this is also what I wanted, was like a note, kind of like a notepad for like all of my jokes. Like, as a comedian, you come up with funny ideas, not funny ideas, and you want to write them down. People usually write in a notepad or keep it on Google Drive. I want to build like the best notes app specifically for comedians. So that's next on the line. But I honestly, I have so many ideas. I can't wait for you to figure it out or see what I have to show. I imagine this conversation will be a lot different a year from now, 6 months from now. I'm pumped about it.
That's good. That's good. In the future.
Exactly. The future is always bright, I believe. So
yes, absolutely. It's very bright. It's very bright by me outside right now. So yes.
Same here.
That's awesome though.
We did an interview at night, then we'd have different conversation.
Oh, I'll just turn on the fake light and then I'll make it bright outside again.
That's cool. The users don't know what time we're actually filming this.
No, we could be filming this at 2:00 in the morning. It could be filming it in like specific standard time or like mountain time. We could be in Montana right now.
I am in Montana right now.
Are you actually in Montana?
No,
I was gonna say, dang. That
would have been quite the coincidence. Yeah.
That would have been. That's awesome. But congratulations there. I wish you nothing but success on your app and continue on with your creative fields and your career. And I definitely want to talk more about your photography at one moment into this interview. But my next question is an important question. I need to know, are you a Limp Bizkit fan?
Yes.
Okay.
do you want more?
You can explain more. You could tell me what's your favorite song, maybe. This interview very much so.
No. I mean, I like that they existed. That that was really cool.
Okay.
But I mean, and I also like, so one time I was in LA and I was visiting some friends, and my friend, who's like at the time and probably is now, is really connected into the entertainment industry. His name is Chris. He was like, let's go out. And so it was us and a few friends, and we went to some like really small bar, and it happened to be Fred Durst jazz night. So
Jazz night.
yeah, so Fred Durst hosts some like random jazz night, and it's the most. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I just like when artists be artists and just go completely out of left field. And not that it's totally out of left field, but it's not something anyone would expect. I think. I mean, maybe that's what you would have expected.
No, I'm very surprised. I didn't like that is just foreshadowing to the future with this question, because I'm not saying I wouldn't have gotten a response, but you know, it's an older band and like it's a very not obscure, it's popular, but you know, it's a very specific type of music. So the fact that you went to a bar, saw him, and then he did a specifically a jazz themed night was something I didn't have on my bucket list today. So
neither did I at the moment. I just walked in and it's like, that's Fred Durst, and that's how it was. And that's Fred Durst. This is jazz. We're having a Fred Durst jazz night. So.
Yeah, go figure. My goodness, the Limp Bizkit right there, the guy just there.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to him, man. Shout out to his jazz. I want to listen to this now.
Yeah,
if he still does it. I don't know if he still does it.
So. I hope so.
We'll reach out to him and see. Do you still do Fred Durst jazz night?
yeah. We'll DM him jointly.
Oh, absolutely. We will. Trust me. When I say I'm gonna DM him, I mean it. I'm gonna find a way to DM him. Will I get an answer? I don't know, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah. You just gotta try.
There you go. I'm gonna go to my next question. As much as I love to talk about Fred Durst jazz night here,
it's an entire podcast on its own, just ruminating over Fred Durst jazz night. But yeah, anyways.
Yes. Keep that idea. Keep it to your list of ideas. Just saying. Right. First the app, you know, then the notepad, then the Fred Durst. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll just find different things for Fred Durst to be a part of. Fred Durst volunteer night.
Yes, we will. But let me go to my next question. My next question is, Pete, would you ever decide to run a marathon?
Well, I have ran a marathon.
Oh, you have? Okay.
So would I in the future? No.
How was your experience running a marathon?
It's a resounding no. I'll give you that.
Okay.
So I mean, I ran a marathon in college, actually. So I actually signed up for a half marathon, okay, which if the full marathon is 26.2, the half marathon is like 13 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I signed up for the half marathon. I trained for the half marathon. I think I got maybe like 10 miles in max before I went. And I go to the event and I'm running with my friend who signed up for the full marathon. And everyone starts at the same place. And then they say, everyone go. And so we all start running. And I'm talking to my friend this whole time. And then it splits off. So like if you're a half marathoner, you go left. If you're a full marathoner, you go right. And I think I was just like young and had young energy. And I was just like, you know what? I'm having a conversation right now. I'm not going to let this fork in the road determine this conversation. So I went with the full marathoners, and I think I got up to the 20th mile where I started getting like multiple cramps. I think I had like 4 cramps at the same time.
Oh.
And I basically collapsed and collapsed. That may be over dramatic.
I was gonna say collapse is very collapse
serious. makes it sound moving. Like like I'm making it a bigger deal than it is. But what I did is I just calmly laid down and I mean I had cramps, and then like the medical officials came by and they were like, you can quit right now. And I was in my head, I was like, I must go on. So I got up. I think I had some Powerade or something, and I kind of did that jog that's not really a jog. It's really a walk. Yeah. But you're making movements with your arms like it's a jog, like you're trying to like prove to other people like I'm not walking. No, this is a full-on sprint. So I just jogged the rest of the way there, and the people at the end of at the finish line, like they're monitoring like who's finishing and how long they've taken. And of the half marathoners, I was like the last one to end up there. And so like the hype guy who's supposed to be like, oh, great job, was more like, what the heck happened? Why are you so late? And I begrudgingly just limped over the finish line and couldn't walk really well for a good week after that.
Oof.
And yeah, so will I go through that experience again? I don't have the same young dumb energy. I'm more wise, refined, and smart about these things. So
Respect for even attempting to do any form of a marathon, and we made it. You did made it to the finish line, so like even more.
Yeah,
like,
I made it.
I can't knock that.
I made it, and I have, even though I ran the marathon, I have the half marathon medal, and it's just kind of cool looking back, although it was very painful.
Oh, I bet. I mean, yeah, you fell very softly to the ground.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, yeah, I can't blame you. But that's amazing. Kudos, congratulations on there. And I learned something new about you, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So
thanks, past Pete.
Yes, thank you to the past. See, yeah, in order to get to the future, you got to live to your past. So
That's right.
Just saying, welcome to These Are Futures. I mean, these are questions. So, going back to your photography though, and I've seen a lot of your works, but I wanted to ask you, what was one of your most favorite shoots to do, and one of your favorite models / talents that you had the chance to work with so far?
Yeah, so I get asked this sometimes, and it's always different each time. So I think my favorite model, and this is going to sound kind of corny, but like I did this shoot with my godson while we were in visiting family in Dubai, because I'm Filipino, and a lot of Filipinos go to Dubai and Abu Dhabi to work. And we went over there, and it was just my family and my godson Kian. And the entire trip, I was just having him pose in front of like landmarks in Dubai. And looking at the photos right now, they really are my favorite shots, because he's totally, in the pictures, he's totally unaware of where he's at right now. He's just happy to be just like doing something and like posing and stuff. And it kind of encapsulates like childhood innocence, I think, just the way it's portrayed. Like I have a picture of him in front of just this amazing building in Dubai, and he's just very entertained by like a feather that he's holding. And it's very, very cute. And obviously I'm biased because is my family.
Right.
So yeah.
No, but it's still, that's cool. And you captured youthful innocence, basically, where the world is going, but the person there is in their own space, and they're just living life, they're just enjoying things.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I guess you mentioned photo shoots, and earlier you said I took pictures of celebrities, and I was trying to think of what that was, because I didn't really think about that, but I did actually take some photos at like the Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner boxing press conference. And that's kind of a interesting story now that I think about it. I really just crashed the event.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know where I found it. Well, one, I'm a big fan of Manny, and they do this press tour, and they tell people that we're going to be in LA in the Beverly Hills at this hotel doing the press tour thing. And so I just show up. I literally, there were so many like Filipinos there. I just went in with the Filipino press and just no one questioned anything.
Oh,
I don't even speak the language. Everyone is speaking Tagalog around me, and I'm just like nodding at people, just like, yeah, exactly. You know. And so I just sneak in, and yeah, I had like I was like front row for that, and I did some pictures for that, and I actually got to meet Manny's family. I got to meet Manny when he walked out, and kind of crazily, Pharrell was actually at the hotel as well, and I met him too. And these two are like two of they're probably like my biggest um I guess when I was younger, like biggest like I don't know. I'm a big fan of them. Like they're
yeah. Like
yeah,
kind of
I
like a
don't
supporter or like a just I don't want to say icon, but like a
yeah,
yeah,
I don't
like a
want to say
fan.
icon, I don't want to say idol or anything like that, but like yeah, I'm like their biggest fans, and like my friends would tell you the same. So it was weird that just both of them were there and I got to like meet them and say what's up. So
That's amazing. What a story, man. You basically photobombed the press and
yeah,
then you
yeah,
met you
yeah,
made it to the game and you met two of the biggest performers, biggest athletes in the world. So
right. And
incredible.
yeah, and I was sitting next to Gervonta Davis, who if you do follow boxing, he's probably next up and coming, and
Yeah, he's really good.
oh, he's so good.
Very good fighter. I do watch. I don't watch as much boxing as I used to, but I do watch and I see highlights of boxing. And I know people that are in boxing and MMA, and like, yeah, he's definitely up there.
Oh,
This is a lot of high praise for him.
I did not know that about you. That is super cool because I'm like a boxing nut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to call myself a professional boxer. I never really did the training for it, but I've been in a boxing ring and I've done some punching there, and I've done some. I did a little sparring with he was a local fighter. God, his first name is Anthony, but he didn't make it as big. And I used to work with a guy who is trying to be a bigger boxer, Lance Singleton. He's
Okay.
like in the independents right now, but like I know my boxing a little bit, and I watch the fights on like Fox and stuff, and when they do like the free fights on Showtime if they have it, so I do check it out. I love the art of it because it's like a chess match. If you
It
really think about
is.
it, it's a chess match, and
It is.
it's trying to pinpoint where you're gonna strike, how you're gonna protect yourself, how you're gonna block, what are you gonna do, like it's like Mike Tyson always said, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Exactly. It's a chess match where except you get punched in the face. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
but like the art of it is so very subtle. Uh it just makes it more interesting. And I kind of got I'm gonna give a shout out to my friends Gene and Jordan. We used to go to the boxing gyms in Chicago all the time, just all around North and South Side and West Side Chicago. Just go all around there, go to all the gyms and work out.
so Pete, let me ask you, do you like games?
Love games.
Cool. Do you
A
like
little too much,
cheese?
probably.
Oh, a little too lunch. Okay, fair,
Yeah,
fair, fair. Okay, good. Do you like cheese?
I love cheese. I am lactose intolerant, but the wonders of Lactaid, amazing. I
Mhm.
love cheese.
Good. I'm glad. This leads to my next thing. And for those who do not know, maybe you do know, I don't really know. I have a card game called No Cheese, No Coin.
Yeah,
Card game for people who like cheese and money.
that's amazing.
Shameless. Thank you. Shameless plug aside. Um, we're gonna play a game within the game.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if you know about like tarot card readings or like horoscope readings. So, those things you do a reading and it tells you your life and your future, basically.
Yes.
We're going to do something like that, but with the cards in this game. We're going to find out what your cheese type is.
Mm,
Okay. So I have my cards here. I'm going to shuffle it up. And I'm going to ask you to do, as I shuffle, is just to pick a card from my hand, any card that you see fit. Okay. So no pressure, no
okay.
pressure. As I poorly shuffle this because I don't know how to shuffle.
No, you are a pro. I feel like I'm in Vegas right now on a gambling boat or something. All
Yeah.
right.
All these cards.
That one.
But you gotta tell where my fingers are. Try to pick where to
Okay.
go.
To your
Internet.
left. To your left.
My left. This is my right from here. This is my left. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. There you go. You
This,
have 2 fingers on it.
that one. That one. You
Yeah,
like that one? Okay.
that's the one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You have chosen Gouda cheese.
Ooh, fancy.
Which
Gouda, I think it's fancy.
it is fancy. It is fancy. In the game, Gouda cheese allows you to swap hands with another player.
Okay.
So it kind of fits your personality a little bit, in the sense of like very personable, very friendly, probably would be a helping hand to others.
Yes.
So I think so. I think so. And I
So
like
I'm
that
a Gouda. I'm a
you are
Gouda.
a Gouda.
Okay.
You're the Gouda.
I will keep that in mind whenever I see cheese and the option of cheese comes to mind. I'll always choose Gouda now.
Mm-hmm. It's a Gouda cheese.
It's a Gouda cheese.
Ba-bum, bum.
There you go. You're starting your stand-up career. Back.
Back.
Bring it back.
Making a comeback. Making a comeback.
All cheese related jokes.
Yes. All cheese related jokes with none of the money.
Well, welcome to comedy.
That's why I got out of it. Let me ask you my next question, though. And I don't know if you know this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Have you ever heard of or ever seen a cartoon show, Planet Sheen?
No.
Okay. It's a spin-off from a show called Jimmy Neutron. Do you know that?
Yes.
Okay. It's a spin-off with the comedic character Sheen. Sheen got his own show.
Okay.
It didn't do well.
Okay.
I don't think it even made it past season. No, it didn't make. Did it pass season 1? I don't think it did.
All right. Welcome to comedy again. Yes.
Welcome to comedy. This is where you don't have your comedic actor as your lead, because you can only do so much with that premise.
Interesting.
A fun fact. Fun fact. Maybe you'll watch an episode if they still air it. I don't know. On YouTube, you probably find it on YouTube.
Now I'm interested, because I have an idea for a show, and I always feel like if you're trying to learn something, you should try to spend some time learning about things that don't work out. I mean, it's easy to focus on things that do work out, but there's a lot of lessons to be had by the things that don't make it.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay.
So
right. Very cool. Maybe you'll learn something. You'll learn something new from the mistakes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And very cool. And
And
you know
I've
what? You're good. You're good. And it actually leads to my next question, actually, and it's more on the advice side. I wanted to ask you, what is a good piece of advice for people who want to start in photography or in any career endeavor?
Yeah, if you want to start photography, number one, just shoot. If you want to be a creative person, you have to create something. So I do believe, kind of piggybacking on the last question, I do believe you should just go out, try and fail at stuff. Just fail, try new things, copy things if you want to start out that way, just to get like the technical aspects of it, but eventually just try different things. And it's not like I'm such a prolific creative, but I think that is I really do believe in that route to achieving like creativity. And that's also why I love stand-up so much, because I don't think I've ever met a group of people who are just so in tune, and I feel like everyone is just like dancing with failure. As comedians, you go on stage and you don't know what's on the other end of the mic, basically, and you're kind of just jumping off the cliff and seeing what happens. Like I've just never met a group of people who will literally say, I'm going out to bomb. Like I'm just going out there to just put myself out there and see what happens, sort of thing. And every comedian bombs, every successful comedian bombs, and it's so ingrained into the art form. And I, because of that, I just think it's so unique and really fascinating to me. So in conclusion, to be creative, you got to create and just create and fail. Don't be afraid of failing. I mean, you're not trying to fail, but you're trying to put yourself in positions where you can potentially fail, and that's where you learn the most. Now, if you're doing creative work for a paying person, that's a little bit different. That's where you take all of the lessons you learned from failing and try to come up with your best work for the customer, basically. So that's kind of how I view creative work. And yeah, I'm not saying I'm like a prolific creative either, but that's kind of how I view it.
No, it's very true. It's true wise words there. And I think what I loved about stand-up when I did start was the fact that it's the one industry where like it's good to fail, if that makes any
Yes.
sense. Because
Yeah.
if you mess up and you screw up, you make new material, you make more creative material, you learn from different audiences pools and how they react and how they're going to hit with your jokes, and that takes time. Comedy is I would say like 90% timing, 10% creativity, if that makes any sense. You can say the same joke, but it's how you say it, how you deliver it, and how you know your audience in time. And
Right.
it's a brutal art form, but when it's done, it's one of the most creative, expressive art forms out there. It's one of a kind.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, and kind of like what you're saying, like your mistakes can lead to more material. And I mean, you're not supposed to be perfect either. So like I was talking about this recently, but like Toastmasters. Are you familiar with Toastmasters?
Yeah.
It's where you go and get public speaking experience and people critique you. And I went to one of those thinking maybe this will help me with stand up. But they wanted to critique, like they wanted me, I did some sort of speech or whatever, and they wanted me to speak a certain way that's actually more proper and how you're supposed to do it. But to me, it was kind of, that didn't matter. Like what mattered was if it was funny or not. And like my mannerisms, which are unique to me, and your mannerisms, which are unique to you, those are what make you you. And stand up is about you, basically. I mean, they don't want you. I'm not going to read a presidential speech up there. I'm not trying to do that because that's not funny. It's definitely not funny. Don't, no one, yeah, don't do that. But
Hold on, 4 score in like 2042. It is the nearest future, and there are flying horses, and we must stop those flying horses because there is an abundance of flying horses.
too
And the
many.
only way you can stop those flying horses is by making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes,
Okay?
I'm agreeing with that.
Because we can feed those sandwiches to those horses and we can make them fat. And when they're fat horses, they can't run anymore. They can't fly anymore. They can't move.
This is logic. This is, I'm on these are questions, but that is logic right now.
That's right. The horse's name is Logic. Okay? It's
The
also
horse
a rapper,
is a rapper.
named Logic.
The horse is a rapper.
Yes.
I like this. I hope
well, we're keeping this in. I'm not cutting this.
I hope maybe you have, I know because you have so many creative friends, maybe you have like a cartoonist can just draw up this specific scene of Logic, the rapping horse, peanut butter, and all of the wonderful things that you just said. It would make a great animation.
Last question for these are questions for you for your interview.
Okay.
The question is, you are on a runaway train. The question is, where is that train running to? And would you try to stop that runaway train?
I am on a runaway train,
Yes.
and that is going to Michigan.
Oh, okay. Michigan. Okay. It's running to Michigan.
Yeah, because that's where I'm from.
Okay.
And that is home. I feel like that's not a great answer. Yes, but we're going back to Michigan. We're going back to Motor City.
Okay, good.
That way, if the train derails, you'll be able to find some parts there, I'm sure.
Yeah, because that's pretty much the whole area. It's just parts.
Yeah. It's in the name, Motor City. Come on, guys.
Yes.
Did I nail that question or what?
I think you did. Yeah, especially the train with all the nails that are around the Motor City that's just leaving there. It's just construction parts.
Exactly.
Comedy. This is peak comedy. Oh God. Okay.
Oh God, yes.
If you can look at my hands that have no watches. Actually, why am I even making an outro for this? That was the best way you can do an outro with. We're at the end. These are questions. Season 4. Pete's interview. Pete, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of These Are Questions. But now the floor is yours. Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to promote? You want to talk about horses? Be my guest. You want to talk about Motor City? Be my guest. Anything that you want to say or do, now is your time. This is your time to shine on the internet.
All right. Dear internet, this is me, Pete Mahndahar, and I'd really appreciate it if you check out my app that we talked about earlier. It's called Pabobank, and the Pabobank is like the definition of that. It's a type of frog. I think it's like in Southern Australia. They make weird noises, but I came up with that name because Gary Gulman, who is a really good comedian, would give out tips to amateur comedians via tweet, and one of the tips was the funniest words have "pa," "ba," and "ka" in them. Like those words are always funnier than any equivalent word. And so I came up with Pabobank because it has all of those sounds in it, and I stuck to it. People told me I should change it, but I was like, whatever, it's my app. I do what I want. And so the app is now on Google Play. I'm hoping to get it on iOS next week. And I mean, most startups fail, but I don't know. I just feel like this is going to change how everyone relates to local stand-up comedy and potentially the entire comedy industry, stand-up comedy industry in general. I have so many ideas. I can't wait to reveal them when the time is correct. And I'm also, speaking of photography, I'm going to get into a niche, which is photography for stand-up comedians, which should be another piece of advice for people trying to get into photography. Try and find a niche. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, so please look forward to that. And comedians, I'd really appreciate it if you put on some mics there. And I think it's an improvement of anything that's around right now. So the app is only what comedians will make of it. I can come up with the code, I can teach myself to code it, but ultimately it's up to you guys to make anything of it. So I if it becomes successful, it's because of the stand-up comedy community, and I hope you check it out. So that's it.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And we will
Thank you.
check out this app. You're welcome. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
a part of These Are Questions. And we will check out the app when it's out on all the platforms. And we'll link it in the description down below. Exactly. Down below. Keeping it in. We don't botch here on These Are Questions.
No.
No,
Mm.
not at all.
That was premeditated.
Exactly. That was a premeditated botch. Exactly. So yeah, we'll link everything in the description down below. And for those that are watching on YouTube and listening on all applicable podcasting platforms, we just want to say thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. You have been watching / listening to These Are Questions. Have a good day, everyone. Or good evening. Or good afternoon.
They don't know. They don't know.
Who knows? Good morning. You can be watching this at 3:45 in the morning during your
I'm in Montana.
That's right. You're in Montana, and I'm in the future in 2042 with the horse.
That's right.
That's right. So it makes sense. We're good. We're good. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.